write everything that comes to your mind. Educate people on social media because even if you think that who will come and read my content, there would always be an audience for everything that you put out. Sometimes to criticize you, sometimes to appreciate you, but there would be people always. So just put it out on social media. Just start with it. Start consuming more content and make. Don't focus that I just don't want it to be saved. I just want it to be read. I just want people to come and visit my profile, no matter what the goal is. You just need to start writing. That's it. And when you start writing, just slowly and gradually include the storytelling aspect. Keep in mind that I want my audience to visualize every piece that I'm doing. I want them to hear my words. I want them to see if I am really talking to them. So these are some common things that you should do in your writing. But yeah, the first step of every step is to practice and to write. That's how you gain experience.
So, hello everyone. Today's podcast is going to be really special. On this podcast, we are going to deep down into all about content writing, about marketing. So, on today's podcast, we have Nimisha, who is a marketing lead on TopMed. So, we are going to talk about content writing, about ghost writing, and about Nimisha's journey, how she went from content writing to marketing, and then marketing lead on TopMed. So, first of all, thank you so much, Nimisha, for joining us here and taking out some time. So my first question before
Writing,
thank you. So before going to delve deep down into all the topics, I just wanted to ask you, first thing which comes in my mind is like you are from Delhi and now you are in Bangalore. So I just have like curiosity, what's the difference you have felt or like feel when you are in Bangalore and when you are in Delhi? So what is the weather or what is the environment change you felt basically?
first of all, I am not particularly from Delhi, but from Delhi NCR. I come from a region that is more towards the Haryana side of Delhi NCR. And I worked in Gurgaon before. I studied in Delhi University. I've lived all my life in Delhi NCR itself. And coming to Bangalore was a hell lot of things for me because I never stepped out of my home. Never ever forget living alone. But I never stepped out of home, not for study purpose, nothing. But coming to Bangalore was one of the major milestones that I consider in my journey. And everything is good here, I feel. The weather is great. Like it's cold right now. It's raining outside, and we are sitting at the comfort of our home. While if I think about Delhi or when I talk to my family, they say that Delhi is very hot right now. It's
Mm.
very humid, and we are seeing like waterlogging and whatnot these days. So I feel privileged to be here in Bangalore. Secondly, the work culture is entirely different. The work culture is like completely opposite of what I've seen in Delhi NCR than what I'm seeing here. People are pretty chill. They focus more on the growth side rather than just for the getting things done aspect of a work, and which I feel is pretty much better because I have worked there. I know how toxic the environment becomes at times because then again there is a hierarchy that those people follow, and even the pay is very low in those areas for the highest of positions that I've come across.
Mm.
So that is one thing. And that could be one aspect because the cost of living in Bangalore is higher, so the pay goes high. But again, it's pretty much chill here. You just have to do your work. You just have to focus that, okay, if I'm doing something, then what I'm learning from it. So that part is pretty chill in Bangalore, and that was not the case in Delhi so far that I've seen, not even with my cousins, not even with my close-knit family, or not even with my friends. Not for anyone, but here I'm just experiencing the same myself. I'm experiencing that firsthand. So there's a very big gap that I could see.
Mm. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about like Misa's journey because I have given a brief, but you can tell more about yourself. So I just wanted to know about like how you came into this field of marketing. Before that, you have done content marketing, and now you are doing marketing. Like, just give us a brief what you are doing, and what your goal, like what you want to achieve.
Okay, first of all, I'm not sure what I'm going to achieve right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the next 5 years, to be very honest. I just know something of my vision that these are the things that I want to achieve. So I'll tell you about that. कि यार ये करना है. These are the things in my mind that I want to, accomplish these goals and get done with these things. Um, but yeah, from I started as a freelance content writer. I was fresh out of school, nothing else. And that time COVID had stuck. So I was like, yeah, I just don't want to sit idle at home. I just want to do something. And that's when I came across a video on YouTube that talked about freelancing. And majorly there were aspects like web development, software, and UI UX designing and stuff. Then I was like, yeah. And then I also saw one thing which was related to content writing. Then I was like, this is something that I could do. This is something that I've been interested in because this is what I've been doing since my school days. I was more towards extracurricular activities, writing and, participating in debates, speeches and all. So I was like, this is my thing and I could do this. And that's when I started with content writing. I just went through Udemy and Coursera. I searched through every course that I could find. I learned through that. I got my first client in 2 days for freelance content writing, and that's
Wow.
when I thought that this is something that I could do. And that's the time when Facebook groups for freelancing were quite active. And that's how I got my first client. And she was an intermediator. She was not really a company or something. And I just got to learn under her. I worked for her like a year or 6 months or so. And then she paid me well. I got some good amount of money I could spend on myself. I got my bank account opened and everything. So that's when writing happened. Post that I was like, "Ki, as we are growing, as we are learning new things, I just don't want to stick towards it." And I also started delving into marketing and stuff. I started learning about these things. I was always very interested in learning about ads, company strategies, and other things. And that's how I started learning about marketing. And I got to know this term known as content marketing and digital marketing. So I learned all of that. I learned digital marketing. I learned affiliate marketing and I got to know some aspects of content marketing as well. I was not really sure how you could do this or how you could earn money out of it, but I just learned it for the sake of learning it because, of course, you don't want to sit idle in those 2 years of COVID. So that's what I learned and went through. And apart from that, I started with LinkedIn post that I just created a LinkedIn account because I knew that you would get a job or something from this. And by the time my college had also started. So I was in the first year of my college and I was already doing freelancing and then I had to delve into other fields. So I started writing on LinkedIn. I didn't know what ghostwriting was. Does it something that really exists or stuff? I just started writing and I just started writing randomly on LinkedIn. And now when I go and see my post, I was like, it's so cringe. How could someone post these things on LinkedIn? But I started it. But I started with it and it worked well until then. I got a good number of followers. I got to be known by people actually. And that's when I realized that, okay, now you could do something. So that's how I learned about LinkedIn personal branding as well. And that's when I actually got to know that there is a term known as ghost writing and LinkedIn personal branding, and you could provide this service. So it was in June 2022 when I started writing continuously on LinkedIn, I guess. Yes, it was in June 2022 I started writing continuously on LinkedIn. Then I got to know about a few other things like how to deal with people, how to talk to them, how to improve your communication skills, because that's how I started with it. And I also got into two of my college societies and I was doing pretty well then as well. So now you see there are a lot of things that I was doing. I was freelancing. I was also providing ghostwriting services. I was also going to college because by then COVID had almost ended and I had gotten into that. I was studying as well. I was preparing for UPSC at that time. So a lot of things on my plate. But yeah, we did it. We went through it. And yeah, then something happened in September 2022 and I gave up all of it. Like that phase was really bad. And yes, then it was in December that I decided कि यार नहीं होगा ऐसे तो कुछ तो करना है. तो उसके बाद फिर I was continuously learning about marketing and all of these things. I created proof of work out of it. I just used to brainstorm random ideas. I created one advertisement inspired by Zomato or Swiggy. I created one ad copy wherein food items could speak, wherein if food items were applications, how would they react or stuff like that. So I created that. And then, yeah, things just happened. Things randomly flew. I attended my first meetup in Delhi in December 2022, and it was totally a game changer. I met a lot of people who were doing a lot of things. I met one girl who was into marketing, and she had earned around 13 lakh rupees on her
Wow.
own via marketing. And what she used to do was she was just selling some products for a girl who had a thrift store or something. She just earned 13 lakhs out of it. I was like, this is crazy. And she had zero skills. She just knew how to sell and she got into it. So I was like, I can do much better. It's not about sales, but actually how you strategize, how you use your communication skills, and how you delve into the product. So that's when I realized that marketing is something that I could do. And then things just started flowing in. In 2023, I already had a job by then. I already had an offer in hand. I I was preparing for some exams or something, and then my college was also ended in like May 23. Then after a month, I got into EY. I got into as a business analyst. And how did I get into that? That is also very crazy. So EY was the first company that came to our college for a placement, and I was one of the first few people who got into it.
Okay.
So while we were being interviewed, I got I got to spend around 1 hour with one of the directors whom I later met when I joined the company. So everyone was saying that this person is crazy. He asks such questions and then he rejects everyone. And I got to spend 1 hour with that person. He asked me why you want to switch into this. How do we trust you that you won't go into MBA post that? And what all have you learned so far? So I was just sitting randomly with him. I told him, Sir, I have observed your website, and these are the things that I found your flaws, and these are the things that EY is doing wrong. This blog post is not SEO optimized. You should do this, that, and whatnot. And it was a crazy conversation. And that person came later and asked me my name and took my resume as well. See, I need to forward it. So that was literally like amazing. So that happened, and then there was one HR round or something. In my interview, when I was asked questions about auditing, accounting, and stuff, I was clueless. I didn't know anything because, again, these were from class 12, and I I had just forgotten it. Ki bhai, what is that person asking? But yeah, I got the job, and I was also skeptical if I should join it or not because again, that is not my field, and I knew I could not survive there for long. But I joined it because again something is better than nothing and you want to gain experience. So Nimisha just flowed in and she just entered into that firm with a lot of strangers. But again we made some good friends. There was none of my friends got into EVA except one and she was also into a different team. And I was like, how will I survive here? But then we made some good friends. There were like 30 people from the same batch, uh, and around 15 people were in the same team. So I got to meet everyone who had come from DU, everyone who, joined recently, and everyone who knew zero, who didn't know anything about business analytics, Excel, and stuff. But we learned. So, and one more crazy thing happened. I'll tell you. I don't know if that is a coincidence or not. The first audit that I did in EY was also around social media marketing. I did that for one of the largest automobile companies in India. That was
Okay.
crazy.
Mm,
like crazy.
mm,
Therein I presented some of my skills, like I knew SEO, I knew content, I knew how to rank keywords, I knew how to rank your website, I knew social media. So I just used all of that. And I also learned a few things from my seniors, which they had taught me that these are the things that we usually do in audits. So I was like, wow, this is something of my interest and this is something that I could do well. So I did that. And for like, I was in email for 7 months. And until the sixth month, top mid also happened. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it just happened. So I'll tell you the crazy story about top mid also. So
sure.
last year, last year in August, like
Mm,
then also we had this long weekend of 15th August. So I just told one of my
mm,
colleagues come friends, he's now my friend. So I told him that yeah, everyone is going to Shimla, Manali. You people are also planning to go to Vietnam and all of that. I just want to go to Bangalore for once. And the reason
mm.
is that there are a lot of founders, there are a lot of companies where I could see myself in the coming years. And he was like, Abhi chali ja tu. You just get out of here. I was like, ठीक है, I'll go. And then in December, Topman had just posted about Topman had just posted a opening wherein they were hiring a social media strategist. I guess they also posted it on Fuelers, so I just got to know about that. And it's not that I was looking for a job. I was happy anyway. I was doing really good there. I was also staying at my home back then, but then I was like, let's give it a shot because the assignment was interesting. It was related to content, and content has been my strongest area till now. So all you need to do was just create some content for their social media handles. And then also I used my auditing skills. I audited their existing social media handles. I found out that some flaws that they were doing and then presented them some topics that they could use and also with some content pieces. And it was on 3rd December that I submitted my assignment, and one of my current teammates, he approved it within 5 minutes. It was within 15 or 18 days that I had my offer letter in hand, and I had already resigned from EY. And it was within a month
Wow.
that I shifted here. So that was really crazy. I couldn't believe it कि यार ऐसा सब हो गया है. But then I was here in February. And that was totally out of the box. Ki, hey, you just said it once and it has happened for real. So some things just go when you think of them. So that has happened.
Wow.
I joined as a social media strategist. I was not even a marketable, but then I realized that I played one of the key roles here in planning the campaigns and, doing email marketing and stuff. And social media was not my strong point till then. I could not handle it properly, or maybe I was just lacking somewhere. And then we realized that we should hire someone who could do it well. So we hired my current teammates now. We hired a designer and one content strategist who are looking over the social media aspect of marketing. And now I'm looking over the broader aspect, which is campaign planning along with my growth head and learning about data and CAC and everything. And then I also plan some physical campaigns like we did last to last month in May. So we created some bookmarks and we distributed them in our office space. So that was one thing that we did. I also look over email marketing now, like completely entirely. So these are the things that I do right now.
Interesting. So, what I draw from this that so lockdown open opportunities for you. You started searching for the opportunities. Then you saw video, came into freelancing. Then you learn content writing, which is a cup of your tea. Then you came into marketing. Then college opens. Just summarizing the things and what I learned. Then you came into college, then you joined a company as a business analyst. What I draw from this that your research part is very strong, right? Because what you have told,
If you're saying
what you
it, then
have
I'm
told to the
taking it for sure.
no, I'm just saying to the audience that research is the thing which you can look up to because as Nimisha told that she goes to the interviewer and told that your these things are you can improve on these things. So they have done a very good research. Okay, so
Yes.
let's go ahead to the serious discussion. So, Nimisa just wanted to uh, know about marketing. Let's suppose you have to explain a 5-year-old boy about marketing. So, how will you explain to him what is marketing?
Tricky question. So marketing is something when you I'll start with an example first. So there is a Hot Wheels
Hmm.
toy or maybe something that you like. And when you have to tell it to someone else that why do you like this, that is when you market this product. That is when you talk about things that is when you talk about its feature, its benefits, its the things that you like about this, and that's when you convince the other person to buy it. So that is how you market it, and that is the marketing side of things. So that's how it goes. It is usually word of mouth. It is usually, the physical aspect of things. It is usually the promotion aspect of things. That is what is marketing for me. Whenever you have a good product, you just have to spread the word about itself and you need to increase the sales anyhow. So that is marketing for me.
Hmm. Interesting. So let's like marketing is a very vast topic and like there are various aspects of it. So let's dissect now. So what is content marketing, performance marketing, and all the various different types of marketing? So just give us a brief like what do you if someone is watching what he can expect in this like in content marketing, what he can or she can expect in performance marketing so that he can have or she can have better like picture ki kidhar jana hai.
Do you want me to tell about the paying aspect or the benefits of all of these, or basically the aspects that different types of marketing include?
Yeah, I just wanted to know about the basics like if someone wants to start in content marketing, so you have like this things, or if someone wants to start in performance marketing you will go with these things, then we will go deep down into content marketing.
Ah, okay. So I'll start with different types of marketing first. So I usually
Yeah,
consider
yeah,
five types of marketing. One is content marketing, one is social media, one is physical marketing, one is, as you said, performance marketing, and one is the brand marketing when you do it. So the first, oh sorry, not brand marketing, email marketing. Yes. So you can also consider email marketing as one of the part of content marketing, but it's not a fully subjective thing. So yeah, whenever you see any ad on social media or maybe any ad on maybe platforms like Google or maybe on YouTube, on Gmail, sometimes your inbox is also filled with a lot of advertisements. So that is what is known as
yeah,
performance marketing. We often distinguish performance marketing with advertisement, but not necessarily restricted to it. So, digital advertisements are a part of performance marketing campaigns that we call, and they are usually done with the help of keywords, with the help of your target audience, and with the help of certain, how do I explain? Certain images and stuff like that. So, that is one part of performance marketing. And via performance marketing, the usual intent is to get spread awareness or maybe make people adopt your product. So one aspect of a performance marketing campaign could also be customer acquisition. So that's how we term it.
mm,
And for content marketing, I usually go about blog posts, organic content that you put out on, different channels. That's when you get the engagement, and that is known as content marketing. You can talk about blog posts, you can talk about articles, you can talk about your product descriptions. They are all a part of content marketing. And I also consider email marketing as a separate funnel because it could also be included in content marketing, but I used to keep it separate because again, driving sales or maybe making customers aware about a particular product via emails is another tricky part. So I usually keep it aside because again, there are a lot of different strategies that we follow in email marketing. And apart from that, physical marketing the is the campaigns that we run in real life to drive engagement or to make people aware about our products, our services, and make them adopt it. make people curious to go with it. Hey, what is this thing happening here? So that is one part of physical marketing. And for the brand aspect of it, I usually think that, how people conceive your brand, how people get to know about you
Yeah.
is known as brand marketing. That if we talk about Zomato, we usually distinguish it with the quirkiness, with the memes, and with, bold stuff, with fun, humor, and everything on the lighter side. So we
Mm.
usually distinguish it with Zomato. It has the red color, okay, it would be Zomato. It is talking about something fun or maybe a quirky Indian marketing thing or something. So that is Zomato for us. So that is the major aspect of brand marketing that I personally consider. That this is something by which your customers distinguish you. So yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about content marketing. So what is what are the things in the content marketing? And content marketing can be like content marketing have various aspects also. Like marketing has various topics like we discuss about performance marketing, brand marketing, email marketing, content marketing. Now we'll go deep into content marketing because that is what you are doing and you are doing for so long. So let's talk about content marketing. What are the various aspects of it and how can someone start content marketing? Because I think that content marketing is something that everyone should do and it is easy to start. So let's start with.
Ah, okay. So I usually distinguish content marketing with content creation because that is also, all things in marketing go parallelly. So everything you see on social media, on print media, on anything is a part of content creation or the
True.
content aspect of things. So that's how I distinguish it. A lot of people would also, trigger me on saying this, but yeah, that is just me. I
You are
like to
saying that
simplify
content
things.
creation and content marketing is different thing.
They are, they just go hand in hand, they are not very different, but they just move parallelly. That
Understood.
content creation could also be one aspect of content marketing. If you see the blog posts on social media, if you see me posting content on social media, I know I'm marketing myself, I know I'm marketing TalkMate, but that is also one aspect of content marketing. Our founder Ankit posts daily on LinkedIn. That is one aspect of content marketing. So content creation is just one aspect, and everything that you see from, a broader lens or maybe a broader perspective, you see that everything in marketing is somehow connected into that web, and
Yeah.
that's how we go about it. So, content marketing, yes. I talked about blog post, I talked about email marketing. I usually use these two aspects primarily for content marketing, but you could see all of our, things on a landing page. There is an FAQ section, there is a section for articles, for blog posts, for things to solve customer queries, then posting out content online that could also be included in social media marketing, but that's just different. So all of these things are in content marketing. So you also asked me how can one start with content marketing. um I would just say that start writing content, start writing about anything and everything that you feel like is important for your customers. If I was not working for a brand like TalkMate, I was already doing content marketing. How? Because I was doing it for myself. We call it personal brand, but that is again content marketing. You're just putting out things in words and images and just putting out in public eye to get to know about you. What are you doing? You're just marketing yourself via content. So that is just content marketing. So if you had to start content marketing, just start writing about things that you already know. Start writing about things that people already understand. Start writing about things that people would like to hear from you. For example, if I am learning from you, I would like to learn about podcast. How do you do that? What kind of questions do you ask? How do you research about someone else? So when you write everything about it, that is when you do content marketing. You could either do it via social media, you could either do it via your website, and you could also do it via, word of mouth or something. You could also maybe use email marketing for that. So that is just content
Yes.
marketing for me.
Interesting. Let's talk about writing now because we have niche down everything. Let's talk about writing. So if someone wants to, that is our like the topic of this podcast, because I wanted to go deep down about writing, how someone can start writing and where can someone learn. So let's suppose, Nimisa, uh, you are giving advice to your younger self, like the younger Nimisa 4 5 years back. And if you have to just start this journey from starting of writing from scratch, then what would be your approach? Or someone who is watching you and want to start into writing, then what should he or she do? Like post writing, blog writing, email writing, because there are a lot of things, right? Writing is not like कि आप सिर्फ कुछ भी उठ के लिखना चालू करो, because बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. So where should someone start? And like what are the resources available, or what are the creators, or what are the people who can, like, you can look up to? So first of all, where can someone start? What is the roadmap? And what are the creators you can look up to? Three questions.
I don't know a lot of creators whom I follow personally. I just
Okay.
look up to content. I just look up to, like, if I've come across someone's profile on social media, I just go through the content that they had put in the last 10 days. Then I figure out that okay, this person is a really good one. So recently I've come across this person whose content is just, gold. You can literally save every post of him. And I recently posted a tweet as well that I have been stalking him day and night just to learn from him. I'm just talking him where does he comments and whose post does he like and what kind of content does he post. And his name is Peri Herubal. So it starts like PEIRRE. So I just follow him on LinkedIn a lot. You can also read his newsletter. That is also one of the good things and one of the best things to read about writing. And for email marketing, I really stalk two websites. One is marketingexamples.com, yeah, .com or .in something, and the other is really good email. So I just talk these two, and I've been learning a lot about it. And the next good source is Pinterest for everything and anything that you like. So yeah, that is done. And now, how can someone start with writing? If I had to advise my 18-year or maybe 16-year-old self, I would just say that start writing on paper rather than on digital notes. When I started with content writing, I just knew that I was learning about it. I was learning about these things, and the first blog that I wrote was about digital marketing because I had been learning about this thing. So yeah, there is also one aspect in digital marketing known as search engine marketing. So I just wrote that on paper, the entire 1,000, 2,000 word blog. I wrote it by my hand on paper. So that is one thing that I, recommend myself that if you had started a bit earlier, it would have been a bit easier for you. Because I know how I survived the first 2 years in the writing industry, how I entered and how I got clients. So yeah, I just started with it, write everything on paper, and now I have started this habit that whenever I come back home, I have this little piece of journal with me. So I just write everything. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad. I just write everything. This is something that I've learned today. This is what, this is how I learned it. So the entire incident and the lesson. And that is what I also include in my newsletter. So that is one thing. Journaling does wonders, crazy wonders. So I do that. And yeah, the basics of writing stay the same everywhere. Whether you are doing content writing or copywriting, the basics are same. If you are writing an email, use numbers. If you are writing the headline of any content piece, use numbers. Use, power or buzzwords which we call in writing. So use them as much as possible. Sometimes you also use emojis. Like recently, I read this newsletter by Vikra Vardhan, and he had talked about some emails that he recently got 3129 or something. That was this number in his headline of the newsletter. And I just scrolled through that all, and there was this point that you can use emojis and personalization in your content. So that is one thing. And always write in first person. Never edit the piece you are writing. Never ever edit it while you are writing because it just breaks the flow. It just never goes well. For example, if I'm writing a piece of content right now, I can write it in one go and then edit it later. The third thing which I would say is read aloud everything that you are writing.
Mm.
Like whenever I write a piece personally, I just read it 5 times with open ears and I read it out loud. Whether it doesn't matter if I'm sitting in office or I'm sitting at home, I just read it out loud just to be clear that hey, I am making sense at every line and it is just flowing. It does not feel like something is missing here. It just keeps flowing. So that's what I usually do. I also use metaphors and a lot of examples in my writing. Why? Because that just makes it easier for the audience to comprehend. That just makes it easier for the people to visualize that this is what the writer is saying. So that's what I usually do. So that is one thing. Now the roadmap, how you can start. So for starting or maybe for writing, just write everything that comes to your mind. Educate people on social media because even if you think that who will come and read my content, there would always be an audience for everything that you put out. Sometimes to criticize you, sometimes to appreciate you, but there would be people always. So just put it out on social media. Just start with it. Start consuming more content and don't focus that I just don't want it to be saved. I just want it to be read. I just want people to come and visit my profile, no matter what the goal is. You just need to start writing. That's it. And when you start writing, just slowly and gradually include the storytelling aspect. Keep in mind that I want my audience to visualize every piece that I'm doing. I want them to hear my words. I want them to see if I am really talking to them. So these are some common things that you should do in your writing. But yeah, the first step of every step is to practice and to write. That's how you gain experience. So
Interesting.
nothing that I did some magic or something.
Interesting. So there was a creator. I was reading something about like before coming to this podcast, and one thing I like after reading, I guess that he was saying that you can create content from everything what you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, you are going something, like content is everything. Just journal it and then post it on like on socials, so you can create content from everything and then understand what content is going well. And I was watching a podcast recent with there was a creator Ranveer Alahadian. I think you know him. And there was a
Yeah, yeah.
creator, yeah, and there was a creator named Ganesh, Think School founder. And Ganesh asked him about, Ranveer, how you create content, so many content. So Ranveer told that I put out all the content, like I put 400 pieces of content per week, and then understand the market trend and then make content from it. It's like simple कि आप कंटेंट डालो, उसके बाद समझो कि what market wants, and then फिर उससे content create करो. So Ranveer, that's the Ranveer approach and various things. So it's what you said
You know,
was good. Hmm.
you know what? That is not the Ranveer approach, but that is the approach that everyone follows, but no one really talks about. So
True.
this is the approach that people, say hidden trial method. That one, you only know
Yeah.
what works when you experiment with it.
True.
And there is one thing very common in our team, which our founders, our growth head, and everyone says that there is no issue until you experiment. But there is an issue when you don't learn from it.
Yes.
So you
True.
can spend X amount of money on doing an experiment. Maybe if I want to do something for the marketing side, there is no restriction for the budget, nothing. But then they ask me, what did you learn from it? We have a weekly meetings where we review everything, the numbers and stuff. That hey, this is what we have learned so far, and this is what we have done so far. So as we increase the number of experiments, our learnings should also increase. So that is one thing that we also say in our team. And one more thing which I feel is I don't know how people quantify the type of content or maybe the pieces of content that they are rolling out every week or every month. because I personally couldn't do it. I just write when I feel like writing and I just do it in one go. For example, if you open my Twitter handle, you can see some random tweets and they are about everything I feel. Every piece of content is based on my feeling because that's how I know
Yeah,
कि my gut says that this would do well and that's how it performs well again. So that is one thing which I personally do.
interesting. Okay, Nisa, let's talk about some, like tricky questions, or you can say uh like one word question things. So what are
Rapid
the
fire.
kind of, so what are the three mistakes you might have seen people made online, like online writing, when you open LinkedIn and when you see some post, you have seen कि okay इस पोस्ट में ये तो कमी है, ये दो तीन चीजें हैं जो एकदम ही नहीं करनी चाहिए, या जो कमी है आप देखते हो किसी के पोस्ट में.
So basically, one thing that I've seen in recent times is that people usually copy other people. They just modify the type of content that they see on others' feed, which is working, and they just copy that all. You could sense that the topic is same, the theme is same, and even the content pointers are same, no matter how it is presented. So I agree that everything that you see on internet, every piece of content or every, what we say that ज्ञान तो same है हर जगह, but it's the way you present it. But
True.
that doesn't mean that you copy it entirely.
Okay.
So that is one thing that I've realized that instead of copying, even if you're copying, just add a tinge of yourself. Just use some storytelling, use some piece from your life to add value to that. So one thing is that. Secondly,
Means still like an artist.
I yes, feel like an artist, ostensibly. But yeah, secondly, what I've seen people doing is they are just still following the trends, still following or still hopping on the things that used to work 2 years back. For example, if you go on LinkedIn, everyone is talking about how to gain money out of LinkedIn, how to get clients, how to do these many things, that this is how you do personal branding and ghostwriting. But these have already been talked about a lot 2 years back. Now
Mm.
you just need to tell people that, hey, this is what you could do 2 years back, and this is what you get out of it. Now, instead of just providing with a situation or maybe a solution, you have to actually interpret that this is what you get in return. Because today's market is really based on ROI. If you could not get it, you should not do it.
True.
So that is another aspect that I've learned recently. And the third thing is since the you know since the AI has come, since the inception of AI, a lot of people just post comments as well out of AI, which is not a good thing to do. You can utilize it, you can just use it to maybe frame a sentence or two, but then you have to add your own brain to it. That if you are reading some piece, if you are spending time commenting on someone else's post, what are you gaining out of it? Even if you copy the comment from LinkedIn, what, sorry, if even if you copy the comment from ChatGPT or maybe some other AI tool, what is one thing that you are gaining? What is it? If if you could not gain anything, you should not comment because that again decreases your value in front of other person. And another thing which I've realized in parallel to this is interact as much as possible. Because when I came to Bangalore, I had zero friends. And now I have met marketers across domains. Across domains. Like literally, I recently met one of the senior marketing executives at Atomic Works. I used to read his newsletter. I didn't know he's the same person. I was so curious. I just went to that meetup. I just sat beside him. I just asked some of the questions that he, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm researching about my target audience, and this is the feedback that I've got, and these are the things that I'm trying out. And someone just asked me that, where can I learn about all these things? And then that person replied that I have a newsletter known as the CMO Journal or something. And then I was like, yes, I do read you. Then he was like, you don't follow me or you did not know that I am the same person. I was like, I did, but you just look different. So yeah. interact as much as possible. You will gain some friends along the way, and you will gain some more, valuable connections that you could build. So yeah, that is another aspect.
Hmm, interesting. Okay, let's come to our second question. So, Nimisha, you have seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn, so you can sense ki which post is good or concept post is going to be viral. So, what are the three things which a post have if the post has to go viral? Let's talk about virality.
So, one major thing that I talk about when I say virality, it is your gut instinct. No trend, no quality script could do you what your gut feeling could. If I have posted something and I know that this won't perform well, then I'm just like, okay, okay, we'll just post it on, we'll see how it goes, and that post actually doesn't perform well. It also happens at times that when you are, clueless, when you have zero hopes, and that's when the things boost. But these are just edge cases. One primary thing that a post should have is you, your gut feeling, your insight. So yeah, and then I call it a framework or something. So there is a 3E framework that I usually follow. It is known as educate, entertain, and experience. So, what does educate mean? Is you tell your audience what things you already know. You share about your insights on a few things. You talk to them about the things that you already know. For example, like we are talking about content marketing, content writing, and maybe other things marketing. Why? Because that is my domain, and these are things that I already know. And when you talk to your audience, you also need to entertain them. And how do you entertain them? You either entertain them with a conversational or maybe quirky or humorous tone, or maybe just share some example with them that, hey, A did this and B did this, and this is what they got, so that your audience can visualize it. And third thing is experience. When you talk about the things that you already know, this shows your experience. For example, when we are talking, this is showing my experience that this is where she comes from. This is how she knows all of these things. So your post should reflect that. And there is one more thing apart from these that you should also experiment with your type of content that you are posting. That also helps a lot. And storytelling again adds some element to it. So just use that.
Hmm. Makes sense. Okay, Nimisha, like if you have to like recommend someone, key concept platform say someone can start writing. So what is your opinion? Like LinkedIn, Twitter, uh, yeah, maybe or we WhatsApp platforms are like Quora or the various like Medium. So where to start from?
So when I started with writing, I started randomly via blog posts. I used that. There is a platform by Google Blogger. I'm not sure if it still works or not, but started with it back then, and then I gradually delved into LinkedIn. But for short form content, you can always use LinkedIn and Instagram. I used to use them personally because I didn't know how to use Twitter and other platforms. I started with them. But now, recently, what I've tried doing is I have tried spending my time on Reddit and Twitter. Like, like 3 hours from my day just go on these two platforms. I'm just scrolling what people are talking about. I'm just scrolling their conversations. I'm just reading about their insights. And I'm just grasping things because there is a lot happening in today's world. And these are the two primary platforms where I just feel that you could randomly hang out. Sometimes you also start conflicts on Twitter, but yeah, that's just one aspect of it. Whenever you say something, you never know how it turns out to be for the other person. So if you want to start short form content, start it from Twitter in today's era because you can literally post anything and everything on Twitter and no one would judge you. And it's personally my favorite platform right now. So yeah, you can start with Twitter. You can start with LinkedIn if you want to go into a bit deeper side of things. But I'm not sure if the LinkedIn algorithm support you or not. I'm not very sure. I've been very inconsistent in LinkedIn right now. But yeah, start with Twitter, then delve into LinkedIn or maybe Reddit because that's how you can just start conversation.
Makes sense. So one more thing, निमिषा कि अगर किसी को स्टार्ट करना है लाइक कंटेंट राइटिंग में So you have told, I will, if you have to suggest some resources which you found relevant, like ठीक है start is मतलब start करना important है, understand कि start करो कुछ भी लिखो, at least put out something. But if you have to recommend anything कि मतलब ऐसा कुछ है, ऐसा कोई course और ऐसा कोई resources which is really relevant, like in this world, because कि बहुत सारी चीजें कुछ भी भेजा जा रहा है, so ऐसा कुछ है जो relevant है which you can learn something.
So I'll tell you this secret. I'll tell you this secret. I have this thick notebook of mine which I'm using since 2020, and I've written all of my writing and marketing notes in it. So if someone wants that, you can steal that, or maybe
Yes,
follow
sure.
me, or follow me on social media because I just post content pieces out of that only and something that read recently. So yeah, that's how it goes. And another thing, there is one crazy blog by, this website known as Crazy Egg. I'll share the link with you post this recording, and you can just put it out in the comments or something. So there is
Yes,
one
description.
blog that I read for content marketing, and it's still bookmarked in my desktop, so you can refer to that. Then you can just read some newsletters for, writing and growth side. One is Elena Verna. She's she used to work at Dropbox, or I'm not sure if she still works there, but I read her newsletters. Then one person is Fiery Herubal, whom I mentioned earlier. You can read his newsletters. You can follow him on LinkedIn. His LinkedIn content is just gold. You won't find anything about writing and content marketing like that ever. So just read about that. And if you want to learn about the basics of SEO and stuff, you can follow Neil Patel or maybe read
Okay.
his blogs. They are quite in depth. So yeah,
Or
you
maybe
can just
watch my
do that.
podcast with him.
Yeah, as simple as that.
Interesting.
Raghi, you know whom to follow on social media.
Yes, of course. Nimisha.
Yes. And you can also stalk my content which I posted in the last 10 days to get a better idea of my personality and myself. So yeah,
So I will put all the links and ये लोगों को
I'll share
खोजूंगा
it with
if
you.
yeah. So thank you so much, Nimisa, for joining me here. I hope people learn a lot of things from this podcast. One thing which I would say that please make notes of things and try to like apply on the things which you are going to do, right? So please do make
Yes.
notes. Yeah. And thank you so much,
Don't
Nimisa.
steal mine. Just make your own.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you, Sudhir.